and if there's a state law that governs what you're doing with the employees in that state, you want to make sure, first and foremost, that you're complying with those. We obviously don't have time to talk about all 50 states and their nuances today, but I do want to make sure you understand there's always a state law gloss on the things that I'm about to talk about. So what kinds of testing can we have? We'll talk about some of the science and some of the ideas about drug testing, but let's start with the kinds that we might be considering. And my big picture message to you on the line today is you have a lot of choices you make, and I want you to be educated about those choices and know what risks and benefits there are for each of the decisions that you should be making with your vendors, but fundamentally, you're the ones who are going to be on the hook if you have a problem, and so I like to do educational work like this to make sure that you're thinking through the issues that come when you're doing any kind of program, but especially drug testing. So the first kind is pre-employment or pre-placement, when you are testing folks who are not yet your employees to make the fundamental determination of whether they will be your employees. And I would say that that's one of the most common types of testing that a lot of employers do. If they don't do any other testing at all, they frequently will do pre-employment or pre-placement testing. And in a minute, we'll talk about pre-placement and why I make that distinction. That's an ADA concept, Americans with Disabilities Act context. And so I will tell you what that means in a little bit. But all this means is before they actually become formally your employees. The rest of the categories that I'm going to talk about apply to folks who are your employees. And so the next category of choice for you to make is whether you're going to do reasonable suspicion or for-cause testing. That means by definition that you've got some reason to suspect that somebody is using drugs or